Hi there, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Nachiketa Sinha, and today's video is the second video of our narcissistic relationship series. In my previous video I talked in detail about what narcissism is and what are the signs of a narcissistic person in a relationship, and in today's video we'll talk about how you can exit a relationship with a narcissistic partner and live your life peacefully and happily. So let's get started. The first step to ending narcissistic relationships is to, get some idea about what narcissism really is. So, point one, do some research about narcissism. Suppose your relationship has become mentally taxing and you're fed up with your partner, and the constant braggings. There's a high probability that you're in a narcissistic relationship. But to make sure that your partner is, a narcissist of sorts, you might need to dig a bit deeper. A little research will help you identify the narcissistic traits in your partner. Don't forget, this isn't about a diagnostic criteria, but just to get an idea. It will also give you an insight into how narcissistic relationships can affect your life and happiness. Once you have the necessary information, it'll become easier for you to quit the relationship. No matter how charming your partner is, as these relationships tend to be. The second tip to end the relationship with a narcissistic individual is to establish firm boundaries. Narcissistic partners have a constant urge to nitpick their partners and to make them feel insecure. Belittling others and talking about themselves satisfies their ego and further inflates their already heightened sense of grandeur. So if your partner has the habit of criticizing you or telling you to follow their instructions, be upfront with them. Politely tell them that you do not appreciate them making you feel insecure. Also discuss that you're not comfortable with them dictating how you should live your life. There's a high probability that your narcissistic partner's ego will be wounded and they'll threaten to leave you. And if they do that, do not plead with them to stay or give in to their demands. Others will further fuel their ego and the need to control. If they want to go, let them go, as being in a relationship with them is nothing but a drain to your energy. Now, moving on to tip number 3. Stop doubting yourself. A narcissistic person crushes the confidence of their partner. They suck out their self-esteem and constantly remind them of their shortcomings. If you go through some trauma in your relationship, start loving yourself some more. Do not pay heed to anything that's the partner says. Understand that they're going to belittle you to feed their own ego, and to fulfill their superiority complex needs. Instead, take pride in yourself and let the narcissistic partner know that your shortcomings do not define you. The moment you doubt or question yourself, it's pretty much a victory for your partner if they're narcissists. And you sure don't want them to get too happy with your misery, because that's going to further fuel their inflated sense of self-worth. So make it clear to them that whatever they do or say about you doesn't affect you. This will bruise their self-confidence, and they might criticize you even more, or worse, resort to violence. So be prepared for that, and the first signs of it, ask for help. Call the police. And that's why all these conversations are important, because the stakes are high. Moving on to the next point. Stop giving them the last chance. These stories of lost chances, how many times have you heard people say that to us? It is difficult for partners to walk out of a relationship. I get that. We all get that. Especially if the partners are charming and know the art of seducing people, as all good narcissists do. So when a person decides to quit the narcissistic relationship, the narcissist will turn on their charm and ask the partner to give them one more chance. And they'll change, and so on and so forth. Now, a loving partner will keep on giving, uncountable chances to their partner, hoping that they will make change. But of those of you who've been listening to or watching my 2 videos, they would know that this is not what you do. Because if you do, then this is what happens. Your partner forgets that every time they give the partner a chance, it makes them stronger than the last time. And they will continue repeating the same habits and hurt you even more. Remember the rule of 50-15 relationship that we talked about before. So do not fall in the trap of giving them another chance. Do not do that to yourself. The 5th step to ending a relationship with a narcissistic partner is to find support and help. Please, find help. A narcissistic person enjoys belittling people around them. They have no regard for anyone's feelings, opinions, or problems. They'll continue to hurt a person emotionally because it makes them happy. Thus, living with a person who constantly criticizes you and expects you to revolve around them, and can exhaust you, mentally, emotionally, physically, in all possible ways. And living with a partner who's also emotionally abusive, as narcissistic partners tend to be, and they're abusing you, there isn't, you can't validate, and they can't validate your feelings. And it can become suffocating for you. So before your mental health deteriorates and you start blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong, talk to a friend or a family member who can help you get out of the relationship. Moving ahead, the 6th point to consider on how to end the relationship is to devise your escape plan. Now, if you're dating an individual who has those narcissistic traits, leaving them won't be a big issue, except they'll make it one, and you, if you can't see through the facade, might find it difficult too. But if you're married and have kids with them, things might not be that easy for you. So instead of quitting the relationship right away, plan out things. Or even if you're in a common law relationship or living in partner and you're suspecting, some violent streaks, always plan things. If you're financially dependent on the partner, get a job, save some money, or provide for yourself and your kids. Similarly, if you don't have a place of your own, talk to a friend or a family member, or to ask them to get some support and arrange something for you. Reach out to the authorities and see what they can do. And there are many organizations that look after people in difficult relationships. Now, exiting the relationship with proper planning will help you stay firm about your decision. In case you walk out without any planning, the chances are that you will return to your narcissistic partner because of financial issues, and also because they'll turn on the charm. So, moving on to the 7th step to consider, start taking care of yourself. Now, fulfilling unreasonable demands, criticisms, and emotional abuse from a partner who's emotionally unavailable for you can destroy your mental peace. In the wild chase of your narcissistic partner's happiness, you overlook yourself. Your physical health, your emotional needs, your mental health, they all take a back seat because it's all about your partner. So to end a toxic relationship, you need to start caring about yourself. Taking care of your needs so that you muster the courage to walk out of the narcissistic relationship is important. Number 8, do not go back to the narcissistic partner that you just left. Now, it is very common that people often go back to their exes and patch things up, right? The toxic partner, delivers a sort of sob story and requests the other partner to come back to them, and many of us fall victim to the sob story and flattery and end up right where we started. They forget about all the hurt and the difficult time that their partners put them through. So if you are brave enough to walk out of a narcissistic relationship, remain strong. Do not give in to any pleas, promises, or memories of good times. You all know it's just a sham. Seek professional help. Now, narcissistic partners can be emotionally and physically abusive, and they can go to any extent to make themselves happy, even if it is at the expense of hurting someone. So living with such a person is like walking on eggshells. You always feel nervous, intimidated, or anxious around them. This can gravely damage your mental health and lead you to develop depression. In severe cases, you're talking about when there is significant abuse and so on present. You're also struggling with things like PTSD, sleepless nights, confidence issues even come up, and even after you've gone out of the relationship. So I would strongly advise that seeking a professional help in these matters is important. Now, professional help means, talk to your doctor, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, but please take that step. Build your dream. If you don't think you need help, or you don't need to treat your trauma, it will hang around with you for the rest of your life. The pain, the negativity, and the bitterness of a toxic relationship will stay. And, have a negative impact on other aspects of your life, which you don't really want. Right, so these were, some of the effective tips to break up with a narcissistic partner or spouse. Now, in my next video, I will talk to you about how you can help people suffering with narcissistic relationships. So stay tuned, of course, and thank you for watching the video. And remember, if you're struggling, reach out, ask for help. Help matters. Thank you. Take care.